Hey everyone. Hopefully the mics are still working. Are the mics still working? Hang on. Let's check this. Are the mics still working? Yes. Okay. Good. Never can tell. I mean, I guess you could, but these things refuse to stay vertical. Anyway, we're gonna do a quick one before we get into the relays and stuff. Amazon, I don't know if you guys can fix this, but I have you guys ship me this, like a lot of this. And about half to 2/3 of the cans show up like that. And I know your delivery folks are awesome, but it makes it very difficult to place it on any kind of surface. I don't know if there's any way to correct that, but if there is, it would be nice. And I just want to make sure people know that what's in the cup is actually what's on the can. So we're going to load this up. And we're going to pretend that the glass is the can. Looks like a urine sample, doesn't it? It's not, I promise. It's a lot better. Does that mean I know what urine samples taste like? Anyway, yeah. So here's the good stuff. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that works. All right, recycle bin. Okay. So you guys saw the one on the failed relays, and you saw the relay that I picked up that was beige. You can see the beige on the inside. And now he's whitish. And as it turns out, this is probably going to be our backup remote system for the door poppers. Like I said, I'm not a fan of this kind of mount, and I apologize for my fingernails. I got to trim them. The screw going in here with the exposed circuit board back there, that's not high on my list. I can take care of it and I can make it safe, but it's not really what I want. And I don't want to have to paint stuff. That's the other thing. So this one is going to be our backup. He does work. I'll hook this one up in a minute. I just want to show you the other one that I got because I thought, oh, well, you know, this one, this one is going to work okay, but let's see what else is out there. Maybe we have a black one. It has, and that's not racist. That's just what color it is. They have different key fobs, and maybe it's a little different setup and a little bit smaller. This one's pretty damn small too. He's smaller than a pack of cigarettes. So let's see what else we got. I'm just going to set this guy on the battery because we're going to use him in a minute. So this is the actual Amazon box it came in. This is the other box that it came in. I'm just going to set these guys over here. And this is exactly how it was packaged. I wrapped it back up exactly how it was. And it's bubble wrapped just fine. There's two key fobs. And then there is the actual unit. We'll save this bubble wrap because we have to put it back in there. So here's the unit. And he's actually very small. He's about the size of a pack of matches. The problem is, you can see we have three little ins right there, or three outs, and three more outs right there. There's a safety latch here to keep it closed. And it does have two relays inside. There is a programming button. According to what I bought, there are two programming buttons. The layout is totally different on the PCB, according to the pictures that I purchased. This guy just pops right out of here. The layout is entirely different on the one that is listed on Amazon. These guys are all in a single row, all your connectors. Like I said, there's 2 different programming buttons. It's just different all the way around. There's actually mount holes, although it does only mount to the case. Also, there's no mount holes in this case. I think you're supposed to zip tie it to a fence post or something. I don't know what the hell this is for. But this guy, oh, hang on. This guy does not work. And also, another reason why he doesn't work, we'll just take a look at this. See where the pinouts are? They don't even come close to lining up with the holes here. See where the pinouts are here? They don't even come close to lining up with the holes over here. And even if you did connect a wire here and ran it straight vertical, which is not a good way to run wiring, and ran it, I don't think you might have enough room to run it all the way vertical and then down the side of the relay and out. You only have 3 slots here, and you're only getting 3 20-gauge wires through there. So you're going to have a minimum, with 2 relays, you can have a minimum of 4 wires coming out of there. So this case and this relay, it sucks. There's nothing. I mean, this part might work okay if you have something where it doesn't need to be exposed. That would be fine. If you want to use the force and just hold this in thin air, that's fine. It doesn't work with this case. What's weird is it's a very, very tight fit. Like, it's almost airtight in there. You got to be careful. I don't want to break off any of the caps or anything, because I have to return this thing, because that's not all that's wrong with it. So we have a totally different layout. Although it's smaller, it's not what we need, and it's not going to work for our purposes. The case is great. There's just no way to mount it. It's not what I need. Also, here's the deal breaker. The key fobs, not even really close. So the key fobs, like on our white one, the key fobs have an A and a B, and that's fine, whatever. I wish they weren't marked, but A does the driver's side door, B does the passenger side door, fine, whatever. On the pictures that were on Amazon, these remotes had the same setup, except what got delivered is lock and unlock. So this is obviously not for a door popper system, because that's you're going to positive ground and then negative ground in order to do a lock and unlock. So this is for a single channel. And then if you want, for the passenger door, you can use this one. So now you got to carry around 2 key fobs. No. Nope. Nope to the nope, nope, nope. Hell to the no, no. Thank you, Amazon, for returns. Just go to the local Staples store, drop it off with your receipt, your return thing. They scan it, done. That's in perfect shape. I haven't used it. I haven't tested it. Nothing. I literally unwrapped it. I saw that it wasn't going to work. There's no way to get wires in and out of there. You're actually supposed to use pins, and this one wouldn't even allow for pins. I'd have to trim a bunch of stuff away. So we're going to use 20-gauge wire again, but the ends are going to be soldered and trimmed so that they fit into those screw connectors. It's really the only way to do it. Now, the bonus, this is going to be our backup. So I'm going to show you how the backup works, and then I'll show you the really cool one. The really cool one arrives tomorrow. It's not only a 2-channel with an A and B, that remains to be seen. It's 2-channel. It's supposed to have A and B on the remotes, and that's fine. But it also has Wi-Fi. It also has an app. So if for some reason a remote battery dies, I can use the app to pop the doors on the car. Now, as you can tell, there's no roof on the car, so door poppers are not a huge endeavor by any stretch. If the door poppers don't work, it's not a deal breaker. It's not like on some hot rods you'll have, you have a roof and you have seals and all that stuff. That's where you need to have a backup, or you need to have a manual release. Usually those manual releases are in a fender well, either the rear fender well or the front, and it's a little cable, and you just pull it and the door releases, the latch releases, and it opens. I don't have the manual release for this because, like I said, we can just hop over the edge. But if you do have a hot rod, you'll want to have a manual release in case your battery dies, or have a secondary button, or have a secondary button, a momentary button, where if your remote battery dies, you can still pop the door open. So let me show you like a momentary, and these guys are like really, really, really cheap. So, okay, well, this is a latching now, but you can get switches like this, super, super cheap. And press it one. This is a latching one. This is for a line lock. But you get one and just goes pop, and it pops your door. And you can get weatherproof ones, put them in the wheel well, put them up nice and high in the back corner where it doesn't get as much garbage, or sorry, front corner where it doesn't get as much garbage. And then you can just reach down or stash it somewhere, under the tailgate or somewhere where you can access it, under the hood, just like right by the edge, and just pop your door. So you can get these. They're stupid cheap. You can get like a 5-pack or a 6-pack. They're handy to have. These are plastic. These are definitely for interior, and they're also latching. So I push down on the button, it stays on. Let go of the button, it turns off. You can get to the momentary one where it goes bink. They're cheap. They're good to have in the shop. You can use them for a whole bunch of different things. So thank you guys for reminding me I need to order those. Door poppers are pretty common on hot rods. They're not the most common thing. A lot of guys there's a lot of cool new handles out there. So a lot of guys are doing like stashed handles where you push in and the handle comes out, and then you can turn it or pull it or whatever. And then when you close the door, the handle will suck back in. It's kind of cool. There's a lot of cool stuff out there aside from door poppers. Door poppers are nice because it gives you a super clean look. There's no door handles all the way down. The new door handles can do that same kind of thing. It's just you'll have an outline of the door handle. So it's kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Whatever you're doing to that particular car, depending on how you want it to work. You can use poppers. You can use, hideaway handles, whatever you want to do. You don't have to have like servo operated. You can just have manual release, just a cable that runs like into the wheel well, and you pull that, and that opens your doors. What's up there inside the door is a big ass solenoid. And when you activate it, it pulls back and unlatches the door. And then on the B-pillar where the door rests, there's a heavy duty spring right there. So when the door comes unlatched, it'll open the door up. And I'll try and show you guys that on this when we get this one hooked up. So I'm going to turn a light on in the trunk. I'm going to show you how to wire it up really quick. It's not complex. These are very simple systems. Like I said, these are the 2-channel with Wi-Fi was $22. This one that I have in here was $18. That other one was $14. This little tiny guy is $14. He might work for something else, but not for me. So that's why he's getting returned. So they're super cheap now. The original, like this guy, this is the guy that originally came with the door popper kit. He's really expensive. He's like $250. This is also 12 channels. I mean, this is kind of a serious piece of gear. Unfortunately, he doesn't work anymore, and that bums me out because we can't use the remote with the extended antenna. I looked. I'm so sad. I even tried to program the old remote. It might work with the Wi-Fi one. I might try it. But I even tried to program the old remote to work with this guy, but it doesn't. This is, I believe this is 435 megahertz, and that's 433 megahertz. So close. So close. So, but the good part is we have white key fobs, and that's not racist. That's just what color they are. And we have A and B on there. That's fine. Hopefully they wear off quickly. But they're lightweight. We can take all the crappy stickers off the back. I know, warning, it's got a battery. Okay. I hope so. So it'll be kind of clean. It'll look good with the gold Cadillac keys. So let me, if you guys give me a second to, I'm going to bring you in and I'm going to show you how to wire this up really quick. And then you guys can go on your merry way. Tomorrow we'll do the Wi-Fi one. I'll make sure that the app works and everything. But this is pretty basic stuff. So hopefully my extension cord comes over here. Yay. Okay. You know what? Hopefully I have, hang on a sec. Trying to figure out what to do with this camera, because I think I can get you guys kind of damn close. So hang on. Let me see if I can get you guys in here to see what I'm doing. Let me move this. Is he going to grip on there? Maybe. It's pretty damn thin. Yeah, he doesn't really stay put. I guess he does okay right there, right? Does that work for you guys? So I can bring this stuff a little bit closer. All right, I'll try and get good shots for you guys. So I'm just going to take the cover off so we can see how things are wired. And I'm going to get a pointer so you don't have to look at my nails. Plus, the components are pretty damn small in here. Oh, wait, where's my tiny hands? No, the finger pointer hands. Could have sworn I had a set. Excuse me. Oh, I do. They're over here. Yeah. Yeah, there's the purple one in here. Okay. See how prepared I am? I got cool stuff for you guys. All right. So this is the white one. And I'm going to try and keep it in the light too, so you guys can see all this. These are our two relays, one relay per channel. This is our programming button right up here. And this does the different modes. It comes with an instruction sheet. You hold it down to reset the remotes, and depending on what mode you want, if you want it momentary or if you want it latching. Momentary, obviously, is it just sends signal for a moment. Latching is when it goes click and it stays down until you click it again, and then it unclicks. And then there's a toggle mode, which is kind of like momentary, but it toggles between on and off. So it's a little different. This is our antenna. He's kind of springy, and you can extend him a little bit to help you get a little bit more range. Here's our power. So you can see we have our red and our black, and it's labeled on the board in positive, in negative. And then over on this side, you can tell this board is set up. It can do a third channel because he's got a slot over here for the third channel. And he also has the contacts here. But we're just using this side. So instead of balancing it, yeah, anyway, that's just my aesthetics. Anyway, so here we have our contacts in here. And let's see, our green is going to our switch, our solenoid, which is normally open. And then our red is actually power, because we have to power these relays. These are set up to run a whole bunch of different voltages. So we have to send the correct amount of power to this relay. And so we have to power it up. And we're going to send 12 volts. That's what the red is. And the green is our normally open, and that's going to close once we engage this relay. Normally open is going to close momentarily, or it's going to latch closed, however you programmed it. And that's going to pop our door poppers. So that's really all there is to it. It's not, we're not landing on Mars. This is a very simple setup. So I'll show you guys. I'm just going to use the NOCO. It's a small battery. It's close by. And let me see if I can get this even closer for you guys, because the camera is not very close. So let's see. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's kind of, maybe can I bring you guys down here a little bit? Maybe something like that. See, this thing doesn't grip very well on this edge. Okay, that's not too bad. So there we can see our package, and it's very easy to set this up. Now, our wiring, again, I've just color coded these just so it's super easy. Green goes to the green wires, red goes to the red wires, black goes to ground. Green is for go, and that's going to be our door poppers. So I need to find, this is our driver's side door popper, which is this one, which is over here. And these things, I need the different alligator clips. So there's one. And this is our positive. We have our two positives tied together right now, because we're going to do them from one clip. Is going to take our two positives, our main power, and we're technically going from here to here and then to here, but it doesn't really matter. It's all going in a straight line. Those two guys are tied together. We are going to clip him on. Now notice I don't have anything hooked up to the power yet. So our next one is our other green, and this should be our passenger side. This should be our B. And if it's not our A and B, then it's very simple. We just switch the two wires. The ground will remain the same. We'll just switch the two wires. So we have our ground wire here, which is going to ground everything. And we're just going to hook him up to ground up here. Oops, try to keep him from fraying. See, like I'm talking about, on the 22 gauge wires and stuff, you see how, I don't know. Can you see how thin that is? So that'll get, maybe not. This is why I'm not a weatherman. Okay, see how thin that wire is? This end is going to get tinned. It's going to get solder on it, and then we'll trim the end, and there'll only be about 1/8 of an inch that will actually stick in here. So we won't have any exposed wire like we do now. So like I said, this is just for testing, demonstration, that sort of thing. This guy does not want to stay wound up. Oh, and these covers, these silicone covers are so slippery. Okay, our ground is hooked up to our battery ground. We don't have a chassis ground because this is all, these ground wires for the door poppers are obviously not grounded to the chassis. They come all the way back to the trunk, which is entirely unnecessary. No, we're going to get those grounds and we're going to move them all the way up front. There's no reason to have that ground all the way here. So we have our hots together. We have our grounds together. Now we can take our, we don't need this second one really. And we'll just do a double check, see if we arc. Nope, but we got a green light on the controller. So we have a green light on the controller. If you guys can see that. There we go. That should be a little bit better. So we have a green light on the controller, and we have our remote, and that opened the driver's side, and B just opened the passenger side. You could feel the car shake. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera. So everything is wired up correctly, and the downside is this is always going to have a draw because of that LED light. It's always going to have a draw. It won't, I don't think it times out or turns off or anything like that. So we're going to need to make sure that the battery is always charged, or we can add, I don't know. We're going to have extra batteries in here, so it's not going to be a huge issue. So I just wish that there was a non-draw version of this. The smaller one that I had, I don't think it has an LED. Now, the other one that I'm getting with Wi-Fi, I'm sure it will have a draw as well, because you'll have the Wi-Fi component. Now, this is very short. It'll probably take 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks to fully drain the battery, but it's not what I want. So we tested this remote. Let's test this remote. Both work. Not too bad, right? So that's it for door poppers. They're actually pretty simple. You can get complex. You can do a whole bunch of stuff, pneumatics and actuators and all of that other stuff, but it's not really necessary. So we'll take our positive off and our LED goes out. So there we go. Bring you guys back up here. Oh, how did this get so twisted? Hang on. I gotta untwist you guys for a second here. Okay. Bring you back up. You'd probably be looking at the trunk. All right, hang on. There we go. Okay. Come back here. All right, there we go. That's a little bit better. A little bit more normal. Okay. Better. So the good news is door poppers work great. This system works fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this system. It was cheap. It was less than 20 bucks. And it wires up correct. The only downside is that LED is going to be a draw on the battery. So what we need to do is, number one, make sure we have our second battery wired up 100%. And since we'll have two batteries in series, then, or in parallel, then we'll have technically two batteries for it to draw on. When the car's parked long term, it'll have a maintainer on both batteries, on all four batteries. So not that big of an issue, but you want to make sure that that gets done. Otherwise, you'll have dead batteries. You'll have at least two dead batteries. It'll just keep sucking juice. Actually, with the isolator, it'll only kill off one battery, but you won't be able to open the doors. So be careful with that, with wiring. Make sure it doesn't, suck up that much juice. I'm sure if you really wanted, you could pull the LED out of there. You could desolder it, and that would take, some of the power away, but it's always going to have that, it's always going to have power on it. So better to leave it alone. Again, it's a $20 unit. Don't stress too much about it. Just be careful. Be mindful of that battery or that draw. And I'm trying to think what else. I think that's about it. Like I said, we'll have the Wi-Fi one here tomorrow, and we'll test that out, and we'll see how well the app works. And I'm sure it's some crazy weirdo Chinese app. But we'll figure it out together. We'll figure it out how well it works, if it's even worth it to have it on the phone, or if it's just spying for China, which I'm sure most of this shit is. I don't really care. You guys, you want to spy on the trunk of my limo? Go for it, man. There's a Noco lithium battery and a big ass Duracell battery. There's all your spying. Yeah, it's basically huge military secret. Oh, what do Americans use for batteries? Oh, this guy uses good stuff. Use Noco. Use a heavy duty Duracell. I use Die Hard. I had a Die Hard in the Viper for 6.5 years, 6 years. Worked perfect. So I use what works. I don't get paid from anyone. Never received a single dime from any sponsor. I use what works. I test a ton of shit out. I use what works. I think that's how it should be. Instead of, someone coming in with a crap product and, someone with big boobs or a beard pushing it on you, even though it's garbage. That's not really the way to do it. So I test stuff out for you guys. I tell you what's crap or what hasn't worked for me, and let you know what has worked for me. And then you have this middle ground stuff like this. It's going to work just fine for most of the stuff you're going to do. And if it doesn't work, it's going to be a great backup. And it's stupid cheap. It's less than $20. So it's nice to have a backup, especially in today's manufacturing age where stuff, that controller should have lasted 20 years. But in today's market, if you get 3-4 years out of something, that's pretty damn good. So have a backup. And that's also why stuff is cheap, because instead of spending $50 on a really nice one, you spend $40 twice. That's how things are working now. But tomorrow we'll have the Wi-Fi in here. We'll give that a test. If the Wi-Fi bombs out, then we'll go with this. Like I said, I'm not hot on the mounting, but I can figure out how to work around that. And everything else works good on it. So we'll get it wired in to the PDC, which you see over here has a big blank spot on it. And we'll be able to mount the PDC and everything will work. The plate will go up and down. The doors will pop. We have our extra relays for whatever else we want to use back here. And that's going to be kind of it. Pretty straightforward. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything like that, if you want to see stuff closer up, if you want me to draw stuff out instead of like showing you red wire and green wire, let me know. I can do stuff on the dry erase and show you guys that way. If you have a different way of doing stuff, or if you have a better product that you've used, let me know. I'm kind of throwing darts and I'm finding the ones that work and returning the ones that don't. So if you guys know of something that's really cool, I'd love to hear about it. And if you do use something like this, definitely let me know. Hey, yeah, that worked great for me too. That just helps reassure that I made the good call. Plus, I love the feedback from you guys. That's one of my favorite parts, is any kind of feedback from you guys is great. That's why, that's pretty much why I do this stuff. So yeah, we'll do more fun stuff tomorrow. And hopefully it doesn't rain. It's been raining here the last couple of days. We're trying to get rid of that. Don't forget to show someone that you love them. Give them a kiss on the cheek. Give them a kiss on the tip of their nose. Hold their hand. Give it a squeeze. It's really important for them, but it is far more important for you. All right. Thanks, everyone. I will catch you tomorrow. All right. Have a great night.